I will ask my tour manager, Eric Barrett. A photographer called Mick Rock.
I'm working with Brian Eno.
But then Philip Anglin. Eric Heckel. And to Jeff Koons.
Brian Ferry.
All of them were designed by Kansai Yamamoto.
Marlene Dietrich.
R.B. Reeves Gabrels.
Cliff Richard and William Burroughs. Working with Nicholas Rogan, the man who fell to earth. An artist from Belgium called Guy Pollard. David Mallet.
Under Richard Hamilton, I think.
I got on extremely well with David Hemmings.
I'm playing Egon Schiele, the expressionist painter. To take Tony Scott and...
The book by Frank Edwards.
Mike Garson, of course. Erdal Kizilkai. Sterling Campbell. Carlos Alomar.
Julian Temple. Jack Kerouac's On the Road came into it. And Jack Hofsys, the director.
John Lennon came to the session.
Philip Glass and Steve Wright.
Close friend of Marcel Duchamp.
Errol Greco.
Oh, that's not Peter Frank. No.
And Nile Rodgers.
Backing band, backing Iggy Pop. So
To Stevie Ray Vaughan. Occasionally Bernard Edwards, Dennis Davis, and George Murray. The American musician Little Richard. The Lindsay Camp Company, who worked with Catherine Deneuve and Susan Sarandon. Tom Conti and Jack Thompson.
It's Bill Graham's just taken.
It's Lou Reed.
Santana and
Don't forget Bing Crosby.
Doobie Brothers, Bonnie Raitt.
The Little John Landis cameo. Joe Bowie was Lester Bowie's brother. Earl Slick.
Well, Coco Schwab, who's been my personal assistant for nearly 15 years.
Dave Richards, the engineer. Jimmy Youngdung Rinpoche. Scott Walker.
Outside of Sonic Youth, the Velvet Underground, the same thing really applied to the Pixies.
Carmine Rojas, Robbie Sabino on keyboard.
The Roxy music song.
Hubert Selby Jr., John Roach's book, Cities of the Night.
Member of the Beatles.
Well, I like the Talking Heads, actually.
The delightful and ever eccentric Tim Pope.
Like Syd Barrett from Pink Floyd. Cher I adored, from what I remember. Then I met him on great friend Mick Ronson. The James Brown Soul Explosion. Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders. The English singer-songwriter Morrissey. James Dean walking up the middle of the road with Jerry Mulligan. His name's Ronnie Ross. He showed me Brian Frown's artwork. Michael Motion, the juggler. To Stanley Spencer, an artist called Ron Athy. There was a play written by Alan Bennett called An Englishman Abroad. I've got a wonderful bass player called Gail Dorsey.
Paul Smith or Stella McCartney?
Correct, and Laura Ashley.
Nancy Berry, who runs the things.
Well, Alex McQueen in the Johnny Cash fashion.
And then a Lauren Bacall type figure, and then a Garbo Dietrich with the John Hurts and Tom Courtney's. Dorian Gray called Laura Dean. Bunch called Christmas Humphreys.
one by Sam Bayer. Andy Warhol, and working with Trent Reznor and Nine Inch Nails.
And Eric Clapton and Tina Turner, Mick and Jerry all flew in for it.
Actually, it was Rodney and Kim Fowley. Dire Straits.
Vincent.
Yeah, Gene Vincent, who was...
There's Tin Machine songs.
All the other good ones. John Lee Hooker, I saw. Kevin Armstrong, who was the guitarist in it. It's a George Lucas, Jim Henson movie. The 8th, Jackson Pollock does his first drip painting. Elvis Presley was born a few years before, I'm saying that. Francis Bacon did Cluster, Glenn Branca, Robert Smith, Barter Meinhof. Next is the Beatles and the Hendrix and Fats Domino, of course. A musician in Britain that I got a lot of respect for called Goldie. Painting asked Charles Saatchi because he put, if I look at Bob Dylan, it's the same with the Stones. Giorgio Moroder. I thought Sean Penn was truly excellent. I don't want to live like a Michael Jackson or a Prince or something like that. Because I believe the Queen... I'm sitting here watching the Spinners. I remember when I first saw Patti LaBelle, temporarily forgetting the New York Dolls. The recording of Donna Summer. That I'll be doing a movie with Mick Jagger next year.
Donald Duck.
And David Yu, who's our graphic designer, who's... I think Bo Diddley was on the thing by Ernest Luft. And I got into Anthony Newley, like Keith Waterhouse and John Osborne, and there, and Dada being there.
Florence Foster Jenkins.
Devo.
I think Mark Platty. And we eventually arrived at Alex's version.
I mean, I like Tiepolo, I like Michelangelo, Rembrandt, but
I believe it was written by Elvis Costello, called Shipbuilding. It's by Robert Wyatt, I think from Norman Berkeley.
Well, I'll be sure.
Called Vince Taylor. On Robert Fripp's album. Smokey Robinson, Prince, Neil Young.
Oshim Hussain is quite definitely the very best dressed director I've ever worked with.
Oshi, as I call him.
My Phil Collins years.
Yeah. But with bands like Harmonia and Cluster and Noi and
just the Crowleyism of, you know, the times.
I adored Coltrane, Harry Parch, Eric Dolphy, Velvet Underground, John Cage, Sonny Stitt, Johnny Ray, Julie London, the legendary Stardust Cowboy, Edith Piaf, and Shirley Bassey.
I honestly can't say there's been one person or one set of values or one artistic movement. I think I've been so eclectic all my life. I've been admiring of so many different people and so many different things that they've done, that it almost feel that I feel that I owe so many, you know, people for the way that I think and do things. I guess anybody who's had the integrity to kind of always work outside of the system has always appealed to me.